Guys, welcome and hello and hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning. What a lovely Monday. The patriotism is flowing through us. Got all kinds of stuff in the news. Big Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. Obviously, this isn't a political channel. It was definitely a little bit of a surprising decision, but I don't think it really affects Sofi too much. Just have to wait and see, what the election holds. If, old Diamond Joe Biden even lives that long. It's just, all kinds of talk about the delegates being up for grabs. And of course, you've got old yoga mat Gavin Newsom, the former Mrs. Kimberly Guilfoyle, hanging out, trolling around the country, picking fights with different things. So he's definitely waiting in the wings. Kamala Harris, or however you say the name, I probably always mess that one up. She to me is just terrible. I don't find her to be all that, bright or capable. I'm sure she's, a nice person and everything like that. Probably loves her children and all that stuff, but just not the type of dynamic leadership I'm looking for. When I think dynamic leadership, I think, an 85-year-old guy who looks like the Crypt Keeper from that HBO show. Anyway, guys, I digress. Just so much on my mind, but welcome and hello and welcome. The SoFi stock, there's these overriding narratives that the bears have thrown at us lately. Probably number one for a bit now is just a bank. The technology side doesn't exist, and if it exists, it's worthless. And what the bears say when they write articles or they do interviews is they go, I just don't get it. It's like a black box, and they doesn't make enough profit. I'm just going to completely ignore it like it doesn't exist, not going to give it any, credence in the valuation. Sorry, guys, let me, share my screen. We'll talk about what's actually going on with the stock. But a lot of people have, freaked out, sort of, oh, you're such an idiot. You said support would hold at 7. It went below 7. Aren't you a moron? Don't you feel stupid? I'm like, no. I was buying it. I was buying a lot of shares when the stock was in the 4s. So I know that it can go lower. I think fundamentally it shouldn't be going lower. And if you look at it honestly, so much of the price action under $7 is shorting, and it's mechanics, and it's about collecting options premiums. It's not about people deciding the company is worthless and I want to sell my shares at 640. I don't think a lot of retarders were doing that. Perhaps triggering some stop losses, things like that. But people who've been in the stock down through, all the ups and downs, and have been down through the 4s for a year and the 5s for a year, that year of consolidation, then it, popped up and has been consolidating sideways and down again for more than a year. I don't think this scares us. I think we know what this is. I think we know that Q2's over. Did the wheels fall off? Was there a disaster? Was there, some kind of panicked money raise? Did the balance sheet fall apart? Did the accounting system, did the FBI with the battering rams knock down the doors at corporate HQ and say, you have to change your accounting system right now? Right now, Anthony Noto. It's like, no, this stuff is bullshit. It is the bear case, this just a bank thing. D. White basically posterized these idiots. If you watch, if you want to watch it on Tevis's channel, Fundamentals of Investing. He did, the interview. I'm going to go through just some text of it, but if you understand who Derek White is, he's from Utah. He went to school there, undergrad, MBA from Wharton. This guy is not some guy who's going to take a job running a small regional podunk organization. This is a world-class executive, coming from Google, coming from years at Barclays, coming from running a big organization. I think it was Zhomi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Zhomai. I'm not great with Chinese at all. But anyway, so he has decades and decades of experience at an extremely high level. And he was, running Google's financial businesses, making partnerships with some of the biggest, insurance companies and financial institutions in the world. So if you are going to take a small company, an Acorn, a great concept, a great model, combine it with Technesis, combine it with a bank, you have this 3-headed monster, and you want to build that into a world-class technology company, this is probably the best guy you could pick. And if you read this interview or you listen to the interview and you don't understand, the depth of his vision and insight into the future of banking, he goes talking about brick, talking about glass, and then talking about air, how the old model of brick and mortar and some of these huge institutions are still almost 50-50 how they acquire customers. They're acquiring bricks. They're not even acquiring them online, which is basically 100% of what SoFi does and fintechs and neobanks across the board. So then, but his vision is air. His vision is moving beyond the current experience. Where is it going? How does he help other institutions get there? How does Galileo go from where it is to a leader, a thought leader, an industry leader, a company that owns this market? And he has the vision to get it there. And Noto has the vision and the faith in him to let this company operate independently and let them pursue their own customers and let them pursue growth and let them pursue the deals they need to pursue, perhaps at the expense of the UI for, SoFi members a little bit, perhaps at the expense of some features you and I would like to see added. But I'm done crying about that. I'm done caring for today. Had a really nice weekend, with the one, the only, the absolute best, Princess J. And I'm relaxed. I'm refreshed. I'm rejuvenated. Can't you see it? Don't I look fresh? Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Hope everybody had a really nice weekend coming into the 4th. A really weird week, of course, short day on Wednesday. The market closed Thursday, reopens Friday, so it's an odd one. And then we have the inflation data readout. I think that comes Wednesday. I might be wrong about that. Then I think you have the day off, so it's kind of like you lets the market really set in, digest what's going on, and then could see some wild things happen Friday either way. But the bottom line is this, guys. Q2's in the books, and I'm looking for 3 cents. I was always kind of a mind as we go through the year. Obviously, Q3, Q4 are going to be stronger. I was looking for 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, and then 5 cents. And I think that's totally reasonable because I think they're going to continue to beat and raise. I think they brought in more deposits, more valuable members than they expected last quarter. I think Galileo, financial services are both going to accelerate faster than management is telling us. Management's always sandbagging. Always sandbagging. I don't know why people don't put any faith in management. It's like the Gary guys, like, oh, they're lying. They're obviously lying. Management's always lying. I know because I worked with a long distance company 30 years ago when I had the same haircut. It's like, okay, if my aunt had a package, she would be my uncle. What does that have to do with anything? It's like we're dealing with the here and now. So anyway, what's SoFi doing today? The problem is, guys, people are buying the stock. If you actually look at the chart and you look at the green and red candles, there's more green candles than red. And when they drop the price, it's really just high frequency price fixing bullshit. It's not people dumping really quick on those candles. So they are accumulating SoFi. There is no real breakdown. Guys, we're back in the chunnel where we want to be, right where we want to be. So we kind of broke down here. Got a little short-term support here, say for the last 3 months, broke down again, popped up again off this line. This line has been, nice and reliable, going back 8 months or so. So, found support here, I guess, 4 times, and then we're back in this little short-term chunnel right here. So I don't see the breakdown. The wedge is really, it's really at a point where I think the stock is going to break one way or the other. Obviously, I think it's going to break dramatically to the upside. I think Mr. Market knows what's going on. We'll talk about accumulation. We'll talk about smart money accumulating. We'll talk about why. And I said this a long time ago. Galileo is going to be more valuable than SoFi the bank or SoFi the stock brokerage. So many, and there's truth to this. So many companies do online banking. I think SoFi is going to be really good. I think cross-selling is going to really show the potential once we see some rate cuts. Customer acquisition costs are going to come way down. The wheel's going to work. The wheel doesn't work, with super high rates with the products we offer now. So I say we, like it's my football team, I'm on Team SoFi. No, guys, I do have my SoFi Bull shirt today. So, maybe I'm a little bit of a homer. Maybe I'm a little bit of a pumper. Is that a crime? Is it a crime to pump a stock? No, I'm not actually trying to get you guys to buy. I don't really care what you do. I don't think any of us has enough money to like move big billion-dollar stocks. So, I just enjoy talking about the stock. I think it's just dramatically undervalued, misunderstood, maligned, mistreated. And I think people discard this tech company at their own peril. The shorts thought this company was going to die because of student loans. Dramatically underestimated management, dramatically underestimated the business model. Guys, shorts are back with a vengeance. Last 3 days, short volume back over 50%. You look before that, 36, 34, 46, 38, 44, 44, and then back to 60. So we hadn't had a really, really heavy shorting day, about 6-7 trading days, and then 3 in a row. They're back with an absolute vengeance. We see this in the short interest as depicted on Ortex, again, up to 18.5%, 192 million shares short. Dramatic increase here into strength, shorting into strength. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. They just returned a lot of shares. So that's why you expect the stock to be released and move up a bit here today. I don't know what max pain was. I even really take a look at this. So max pain is 650. You have some open interest at 7, basically puts at 6 and 650, and then the current volume is coming in. All the puts are at 650, and then you have some calls at 650 and 750, but most of the calls are at 7. So okay, max pain 650, but probably a little bit closer to 7 than just straight on 650. What's really important, guys, is this: institutions are buying Sofi, and this is across the board, and they're the right kind of institutions. They're not these sort of short, long traders. We're talking about index funds. We're talking about institutional funds. We're talking about pension funds. So institutional long shares up to 460 million, which is higher than it's been in some time. I don't think that's updated. Put call ratio still a little bit, the put side winning there. But if you take a look at the filings, guys, I mean, it's just one after another. And there are a few companies selling here and there, but Legal General Group, 900,000 shares. And I don't know all these funds. I mean, there's a million, obviously, institutional funds, all types of different funds, but ESTX, 85,000 shares, FlapX, Fidelity Flex, mid-cap index fund, 36,000 shares. You got Fidelity Series large cap value index fund, 300,000 shares. Fidelity large cap, and these are all increases, right? Increase 7%, increase 11%. You have the John Hancock multi-factor mid-cap ETF increasing their share count by 300% to just 216,000 shares. So it's a little $1.5 million position. It's not a huge position, but these add up, guys, and these provide price stability. And these tell Mr. Market, this is not a stock you're going to short to death. You're not going to outlast Vanguard and Fidelity and BlackRock. You're just not going to do it. And the problem they have is if ARK is willing to buy a bunch of shares at 780 and 740, 16 million shares or whatever, and Fidelity isn't, because these filings are delayed. This isn't the price action right now. I mean, look at their average costs. Only, some of these are more recent with Fidelity buying now at 663 and 669, but and also here at 603. So Fidelity was a smart buyer. Even JP Morgan, Beta Builders, they bought, they're in for 416,000 shares, basically no change there, but their average cost is 636. I think they used to be short long. Another BlackRock fund coming in. BlackRock owns a stock all kinds of different ways. XTI shares Exponential Technology. So you guys get the point. I don't want to, drone on with all of these, but the point is institutional investment in SoFi is increasing. Anthony Noto, I was reading, he spent almost, I think it's $800,000 buying shares just this year, I read somewhere. Anyway, so insider buying, institutional buying, price stability, fundamentals, the chart, I think it's all coming together. And they're shorting the stock. They were shorting the stock again today, but it looks like they kind of gave up on that just a little bit. but the algo's working very, very hard, and the volume is anemic at 11 million shares. It's really, really hard to get any upward price momentum on a stock with no volume if institutions just turn it off. And if they're making money on options premium and they don't see any compelling reason to rush into the stock right now, and they're able to accumulate shares, you saw there, guys, Fidelity accumulating shares in the mid sixes, BlackRock accumulating additional shares. I don't know if Vanguard's been buying, but of course they already have like 80 million, 81 million shares. So how many do you need? Got all your stocking stuffers. Oh yeah, I have 81 million shares of SoFi, Grandpa. He's like, oh, that's a good buy, Billy. Well bought. Anyway, guys, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. It is Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank the live studio audience. We have several foreign dignitaries in the audience. Once again, the great Roger Federer, one of my favorite tennis players, joining us in the live studio audience. Thank you, Roger. Good to see you. In any case, guys, seriously, one of the smoothest swings in the history of tennis. Just effortless, just absolutely effortless. Shuffles the feet and just crushes the ball with Swiss precision. God, what I wouldn't give to play the game of tennis at that level would just be a lifelong dream. But alas, I am a, middle-aged fat guy with short legs. I got a great serve. Really strong volleys. Strong ground strokes, but just these short fat legs do not give me the speed to really play the game all that well. But anyway, guys, you're not here to talk about my tennis sob stories. Perhaps Versa Tennis Clips is, if he's here. What's going on, Mustang Rider? M Russo's first. M Russo 215, always one of my supporters. Thanks, M Russo. Appreciate you. Mustang Rider is here. Hello and welcome, Mustang Rider. Christopher Holmesy. Oh, Neo should be going crazy, Christopher. I mean, 21,000 deliveries. Their Firefly brand is going to have its own battery swap network. Onvo coming out. I'm excited, Christopher. I just went from 6 to midnight. Thanks for reminding me. Bobby Joe, what's up, Bobby Joe? What's up? To quote those Budweiser frogs. What's up, Bobby Joe? I'm sorry I had to do that. Heirloom Cedar, what's going on? Jabroni Brands, what's going on? What's up, Wes? Oh, Wes had to tell Jabroni let me. He unlocked Wes. Let Wes go to the bathroom. Perhaps let him see a little bit of sunshine. Wes has been in solitary confinement, nursing a bunion. SJ Tavares is here. SJ, welcome and hello and welcome. What's going on, SJ? Let's effing go. I'm trying not to use too much profanity because this is a daytime show. Trunk Monkey is here. Kamal America scares the shit out of me. I mean, guys, I'm not a big. I don't want to make this a political show. I'm hugely not a fan of Trump. I'm hugely not a fan of Biden. I'm astonished as a country. Those are the two best choices we can put forth. I mean, that's what we give people to choose from. It's really, really damning for what we've become. What has become of us? It reminds me of that song "Richmond, North of Richmond." I keep singing that freaking song. It's like it's just haunting me, like that big red bearded guy. Anyway, might give you a few notes later if you guys make some clever comments. But yeah, just the state of politics. It's not good. It's not good. And nobody wants to talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is that we don't want to get our debt under control. Both parties just spend insanely. And then, like I said, Republicans spend crazy, Democrats spend crazy, Republicans accompany it with a big tax cut. Just like, do the math, guys. Last time we balanced the budget was the Clinton administration. A lot of people weren't even alive then. But back then politics worked because these guys were friendly and they knew it was in the best interest to get some things done. So both parties, solved problems, cut entitlements, cut welfare, raised a couple of taxes, a couple of points, and we actually had a surplus. We were paying down the debt. And it was thanks to both parties trying to solve problems. We don't do that anymore. We're just Karens. We just whine and hate and complain, and we could, it just sucks. Like, I don't know. I'm fed up with it. Like, everything I see in politics is just whining, name calling, accusations, retribution. It's like there's real people out there with real problems, really hurting. I mean, our infrastructure's crumbling. We have the Chinese in every fucking system with their, ransomware and their cyber attacks, and there's wars breaking out all over the place. And All we're doing is calling each other names and trying to pass bills about trans people using restrooms. Whose life has been ruined by, a trans person using a restroom? Jesus. What is wrong with everybody? Leave each other the fuck alone. Let everybody live their own goddamn lives how they want. And just be decent human beings to one another. Oh my God, you don't believe the exact same thing I do. You're not the same religion I do. We used to coexist. Like, you want to be Christian conservative, raise your family a certain way. Health and happiness, man. Want people in other places want to, live a different way. Like, I just don't see why we have to impose sort of our own, views on other people and expect them to sort of conform to our way of thinking. It's just, that's not how life works, guys. That's how children think. Everything happens now. We just throw a fucking tantrum. What's wrong with us? What happened? We all go crazy. It was like, I don't know what happened. It was like Hillary, Trump, COVID. Everybody just lost their fucking mind. Everybody became a bunch of, children all of a sudden, unable to deal with differences, realities, problems, unable to be grown-ups and take, sacrifice and short-term pain. It's like, we want, just keep spending, cutting taxes, give us everything. No responsibility, no accountability. Just finger pointing and name calling. It doesn't accomplish anything. Fucking hate you guys. I have people in this audience who actually get things done on a daily basis. I know for a fact I have engineers, I have teachers, I have medical doctors. These are serious people. Why are there no medical doctors? Very few medical doctors, very few engineers in our Congress. Why are they all fucking lawyers and lobbyists? Because they leech off the system. They know a system that doesn't work. It just grinds. They can just profit off these margins, off this dysfunction, this constant dysfunction. But it doesn't work. Why don't people who actually solve problems, such as medical doctors, engineers, professors? I mean, I know a lot of the popular thing now is just hate professors, hate academia. Oh, it's so stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize for that rant. It's Monday. My back hurts. I fucking hate you guys. All right. Let's move on with some comments. We got plastic pellets here. We all love plastic pellets. They pollute the ocean. But they're delicious on cereal. I probably won't be trading in the 6 to 7 range for the next 5 years, plastic pellets. Have you looked at the chart, buddy? The stock was up almost to 30, down to 4. And just in the last year, it's been like 1160, up in the 10s, back in the 5. I mean, there's absolutely no way it will trade in the 6 to 7 range for the next 5 years. It could go down to 3. It could go up to 15. It could go to 20. It could go to 2. But there is zero chance it stays in a $1 range for 5 years. That is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Last night said he does. Yeah, I know, Kramer, the inverse Kramer. It really doesn't make any difference. Welcome and hello, Low Country Luton Pond. Hello and welcome. Yeah, that was a great video, guys. I highly recommend Tevis. All of Tevis's SoFi content is really good. He's got good insights. I like Tevis. We've had Tevis on the channel, by the way. Thank you, Not a Lurker. Also, thank you, J Money Not a Lurker, for producing the show today. And thank you, Alberto Berti Aviles, for moderating the show. Do not sub and like whatever he tells you. Freddie Lafitte and his band with a beat. He's checking in from Mayberry. He's in Floyd's Barbershop, where they get free Wi-Fi with a cut or a shave. Plastic is a troll monster. Yeah, I know. There's so many trolls here. Savage of Wall Street, covered calls. Yep, it's always covered calls time when you're the Savage of Wall Street. Richard Vaughn is here. Yeah, it's been got a lot of sun, did a lot of work. Just one of those weekends where there was no time, just no sleep, didn't have time to think about anything, look at anything, didn't look at my phone, didn't turn on a computer. It was just one of those things where Thursday night happened, and then seemed like Monday. Like, you know, those weekends that just sort of fly by in an instant. You don't know where they went, but they were good anyway. Calls for sale. Be a real man and buy calls. Buy some calls from Savage of Wall Street, guys. The guy needs to fund his slot machine addiction in the biggest little city in the world. Now, I hope you had a good trip there, Savage. Welcome back. I don't know where. I think you're from the LA area, as I recall. Calls for January, become a billionaire. Yeah, yep. You know, I think he might be saying that because he wants guys selling aluminum siding also. Alberto Bertiavales is going to stick with selling calls. I would also recommend that. I've also been selling calls. The reason, guys, I don't go into my options, people keep saying, why don't you do a video on covered calls? Why don't you have videos on your options? Because I'm not an options expert, guys. There's people 100, 1,000 times more knowledgeable than me on options. I just like to rant about, you know, sort of my views. You know, kind of an overview guy, like basically a big, you know, ranting idiot. But I just choose not to make videos on my specific trades because I don't think it does any good, and I don't think I can explain the mechanics nearly as well as other people. I can definitely put in the comments, you know, some people that I would recommend that I personally like to learn from. But I'm just not here to teach. Like, I'm not Professor G. Like, I'm not some cool guy with a beard and a tattoo sleeve that I just, you know, try to just subtly flex my tricep all the time. I'm not Stock Mo with a plain, unbranded black baseball cap and a, you know, pushing worthless meme coins at you at the top and saying, I think you're really going to like what I have for you. You know, I'm not Felix. Like, I don't understand this. Felix, Sofi. No, if you want to make 90% of the time, call me on Telegram. Or Henry is like, hey, like I like Henry, invest with Henry is good options guy, but in his last video, he had like super hard nips in his thumbnail. And I just found it kind of disturbing. And it's like, dude, we heard you work for Goldman Sachs already, man. And it's like, you're kind of like a nerdy finance guy. I don't know where the guy's from. I have no idea. He's like, he might be like Russian Jewish guy or something. I have no idea. He's a really smart guy, but it's like he incorporates this hip hop language. Like, don't get stupid. Like, dude, if you're a guy, you know, numbers guy from Goldman Sachs, a finance nerd, just be a finance nerd. You don't have to be everything to all people. If you're just a middle-aged fat idiot, embrace it. Be a middle-aged fat idiot. Those are just my thoughts on some YouTubers, but you know, there's a lot of people that know. If you just want to learn like basic stuff, God, I always forget her name, but there's a lady who, you know, does options. She has short black hair, very good, very easy to understand. I'll link to her also. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Sorry, I'm just all over the place this morning. Very little sleep. Loader is Grundle. You're pretty funny. I like trolls. Plastic pellets is okay. Let's see. Well. Look who I found live. What's up, Jeff Presley? How you doing? Bienvenidos y hola, Savage. We already talked to you. Like you and that little baseball cap, little 5-year-old, but with facial hair. I don't know. I can't get a read on Savage Wall Street. In his videos, sometimes he looks like one guy, sometimes he looks like a total another guy. Sometimes like talking about, you know, credit card offers, and sometimes talking about this, that. I don't know, man. I like Savage's channel. Like and sub Savage. Don't like and sub me. Thumbs down me, unsub me. Go sub some of these other turds like Tevis or Savage or C-Bar Engineering. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I'm reading way too many of your comments. You're all here, blah, blah, blah. Hism, Trunk Monkey. Who's that? Ether Between Us. Freddie Lafitte, we already talked to you. Kareem's here. What's up, Kareem? How you doing? C-Bar Engineering in the house. Alberto, what's going on, Alberto? Hope you guys are all well, but I want to talk about this D White thing. So you guys, a lot of you guys saw Tevis's videos or Tevis's video on this, but I just want to go over it in a little bit of text so you can kind of get an insight also into who these people are. Like Derek White, he looks kind of young, like when you see he's like smiling with shit, but this guy has decades and decades experience at a top level. He's talking about running over 6,000 branches. He was talking about running a major organization in China in his career. More recently, he was vice president with Google for all their financial products. And then he was lured back to Utah where he did his undergraduate. I think a lot of that he took the job maybe because he just wanted to move back to Utah and raise his kids there. I mean, which is very, very fortunate if you're a SoFi investor, because this guy is absolutely a world-class executive. And I think, again, that's why I say I think Galileo will be far, far more valuable a long time down the road than SoFi the bank, SoFi the financial institution. I think the business will be software, the business will be technology. I think Galileo is going to own a big piece of this market, and I think SoFi shareholders are going to be very, very handsomely rewarded. This is from Beyond the Glass, Navigating the Future of Digital Banking with Galileo's Derek White. In this engaging conversation, Derek White discusses the significance of above the glass and below the glass. Let me get you towards a check of the live short interest, by the way, apropos of nothing. Just I know you guys like that. Yeah, shot way back down yesterday. They borrowed almost 8 million shares, so this came back down. I think this is going to pop back up. This should indicate, I think that was basically here, because that's usually delayed about an hour. Yeah, it's probably where it went up right here. And then just, borrowing and shorting back down as they're wont to do. But let's go take a look. This is the same thing, like I said, Tevis went through, but just talking about this above the glass, look at what's below the glass. The concept of above the glass, this is Derek White, the CEO of Galileo, which is an independent company, wholly owned, of course, by SoFi Financial Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. My name is Danny Deals. It's Un Poco Mas. The show today is being produced by J Money Not a Lurker and moderated by the great Alberto Bertie Avilés, who wields the wrench with I don't know, whatever he does. I don't really give a shit. No, but thanks, guys. I appreciate you helping out. The availability of features. So basically, above the glass, what the customer sees. Below the glass is, the guts that enables the customer experience. So one of the biggest learnings. I wish I could do my corporate. That's a no-brainer. Oh, where are the key learnings? We're gaining traction. I feel like there's a disconnect. What would be the key learnings here? I love that. Tevis would be proud of me. So the key learnings. What would be the key learnings here? So anyway, the key learnings here would be that, COVID changed everything and pushed forward the digital model in so many ways. It's not just shopping. It's not just groceries. It's also, it's going to drag financial there kicking and screaming. They don't want to move. These legacy banks, these legacy financial companies, they have just these structural kind of monopolies. They don't really have competition, or they haven't, and they treat customers like crap. They pay customers no interest on their money. They charge fees for everything under the sun. They don't only want to loan money to people who don't need it, which is a good practice, actually, if you're a lender. But anyway, you guys should read this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you go through this interview and you watch this interview with Derek White and you understand SoFi owns Galileo, and then you say SoFi is just a bank, you're just a fucking idiot, in my opinion. Like, if you think Galileo and this guy don't have any value, you're just intentionally not looking. You're just not paying attention. If you can hear him talk and then see what Galileo is doing, this is going to be a very, very valuable company for SoFi. So he's talking about how you look at it, product versus human, why these financial institutions, they know they need to change, right? So why is it so difficult for financial institutions to deploy digital solutions and overcome legacy mindset despite recognizing the need for change? And if you listen to that one question, guys, the answer to that question is why Galileo exists. It's what Galileo does. It's taking banks into the next generation, other companies, insurance companies, airlines. It doesn't matter. Whatever they want to do in financial services, in fintech, in banking, in card issuing, in payments, in risk, in security, in business banking, in lending, in any type of lending, in travel, in any type of insurance, in retirement, in benefit, in IPO, in private equity, in anything. SoFi is unique. Galileo is extremely unique. The combination of the two is a fucking unicorn. A unicorn. You just caught a unicorn. You caught a tiger by the tail, my friend. To quote the great Bob Odenkirk, of course, Saul Goodman. That's so funny, Saul Goodman. How you make up a name as an injury, a personal injury attorney, or whatever the hell he was, a meth attorney. So anyway, back to this article. I think the biggest part is looking at product versus human. You really boil it down to the experience of how a big tech, big ecosystem, digital business, and this is the key, how a digital business builds their business versus how a financial institution builds and manages and runs their business. It's about looking at that human interaction, the human interaction in a very, very different way. And he talks about typical large financial institutions. They have four big businesses: consumer, payments, wealth management, and corporate and institutional. They're hugely siloed P&Ls, and he talks about how they look at spreadsheets. They roll up quarterly. One person is responsible for each cell in the spreadsheet. And this is how organizations work. Organizations are broken. Organizations are rigid. They're very resistant to change. People defend their territory. They defend their systems. They defend what they know. It's very hard to get young, innovative people in charge of these organizations. I mean, they're not innovative. They're just not. Galileo is innovating, and Galileo is going to push that innovation out into the market, be the AWS of fintech, get us that sweet, sweet tech valuation, get Papa Noto those stock options in 2027. They're sandbagging at 80 cents 2026, guys. I know something you don't know. That's what Noto knows. That's what Derek White knows. That's what Crystal Point knows. They know stuff we don't know. LaPointe laid this out chapter and verse very, very quickly. These customers are coming on board. The revenues are going to ramp. The margins are going to be incredible. I don't know why people think he's lying. I don't know why people think he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't get it. I don't get what people see when they see through Galileo and think it doesn't exist and think this team is not capable of building a monster. Derek White didn't come back to Utah and take this job with Galileo. He is going to build this business. This is what this guy does. This guy is in charge of massive organizations. And that is the ambition for Galileo and SoFi. And as shareholders, we really need to pay attention. I think this is going to dawn on the street, and I think it already is, and I think that's why you see Fidelity and BlackRock and ARK and all these other institutions starting to buy in. They picked the wrong horse with a firm. You know, they own 85% of a firm. You can own 85% of a fucking dog turd. Big deal. I mean, you do own 85% of a dog turd if you own a firm. That company burns through money. It's never going to make any money. Never. Amazon and Apple do not give you real estate on their fucking checkout screen if they wanted it themselves. They're giving you the scraps, the dregs, the chaff. A firm is the chaff. They suck. Anyway, guys, I don't want to be a little petulant little turd. Welcome and hello and welcome. It is Un Poco Moss. I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Yalgo just working so hard, no volume. SoFi just can't get out of this channel. I think it wants to move to the upside, but I think Wall Street is being very selective when and how they buy and how much, so they don't, create any type of, upward price pressure on that. I think they're very happy to accumulate here in the mid sixes, 640s, and basically they want to buy in lower than Kathy Wood. They want to buy in lower than Joe Sixpack, Ma and Pa Kettle. All you turds, they don't want to buy in at 10, where us SPAC whackers, us whack packers bought in. They want to buy in and feel like they got a deal. Oh, we work in Wall Street. We have expensive suits and corner offices. We drive Audis, whatever, probably some electric vehicle. Maybe a Porsche Taycan or something, whatever the fuck. That's an ugly car. It's just an ugly car. There's no reason for it. Anyway, so back to this stupid thing. It's not a stupid thing. It's very, very important, but my mind, it wanders. So he's basically talking about why they're resistant to change. Okay, a typical CEO or chairman I've talked to has 50 to 80 PLs. They're looking at PNLs. They're looking at spreadsheets. One very simplistic first metric to measure digital maturity across all of those businesses is one simple thing, that is DIY. So they're talking about DIY and basically how many humans are in the loop. And he's talking about when he was at Google, they wanted one person in the loop, and that's Jim. That's the user. You don't want anyone else having to help you. And at a lot of these banks, it's 40 to 50%. They have to have a human interaction. They're stuck in the bricks. They're not even at the glass, much less the fucking air. Get in the air. So, how can financial institutions leverage a DIY metric to drive digital transformation and improve customer experience? Business model has shifted. Banks, yes, are incredibly important. When I was at BBVA, I ran 6,000 plus branches, and you have to look at the end user experience. Remember, Derek White ran 6,000 plus bank branches. This is not some guy without the experience to know what he's talking about to go from bricks to glass to air. This is the guy to get it done. This is the guy to build Galileo into an absolutely huge AWS of fintech company worth billions of dollars, make us all rich beyond our wildest dreams, right? Ugh, wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy, guys? And it's shocking, Jim. In Q1, a $60 billion market cap bank with 120 million customers in their annual report, 55% DIY. So 70 billion market cap, 55% DIY. 45% of their business has to come in through the branch. Do they want to come in through the branch? That's a simple concept, because then you take away the human experience, or do they want to interact with you? Some people might want a branch. That's very true. Do they want to be able to DIY? The other two interaction models, the three interaction models, we could spend hours on this. DIY, do it together, do it for me. I'm shocked that today in 2023, there's a multi-billion-dollar institution that's only 55% DIY. It's shocking. New bank, $100 million, 100 million customers is almost 100% DIY. And, that's very, very important. That's why I, have quite a bit of new bank that I'm up about 30% on. Thank you very much, Tanner. So how do you see the digital banking experience? Is anybody watching this? It's been a long time. Got to wrap this piece of shit up. How do you see the digital banking? The point is, guys, and I don't really need to read this. Read it for yourself. It's at the Financial Brand. And you can also read the transcript other places and also watch the video. Again, recommend you watch it on Tevis's channel and just support his channel. But he goes through this. To keep it simple, we refer to the age of brick, the age of glass, and the age of air. Brick was branches. Now we're in the age of glass, and very soon we're going to be moving into the age of air. It's talking about how you interact with things, how you pay things, how you're going to interact with your finances. It's going to get off the screen into voice, into thought, into glasses, into whatever, type of user interface people are going to be dealing with in the near future. I think, the smartphone being the center of everything, it's just not going to last forever. People don't want to carry that big thing around. There's no reason to. You can have enough processing power in your watch to make it happen. Folding, all this stuff, it'll be in the air. It'll be a hologram, whatever. You'll have Siri, jumping out at you, scaring the hell out of you. Anyway, things will happen for employees. Coding increasingly to pace, shift ideas to coding. This is the guy, man. This is the guy. Sometimes I'm not smart enough to understand all the software, and I just, maybe I'm smart enough, but I just don't have the background. I don't have the expertise. Can't claim to. It's the same thing with options. I mean, so many people, TURDers, claim to have some type of unique expertise they just don't have. And, I just don't claim to be able to understand the technology at this level. But what I do know is that listening to Derek White, he does understand at this level. And he has the business skills and the technology skills to be able to make this thing work. And I think we just have a really, really good chance of Galileo becoming a huge company with huge, huge margins. And it's going to make SoFi maybe look somewhat unimportant by comparison. That's my honest opinion. And I said that a long time ago, and this interview makes me think it even more. One of the aspects of technology that I love is being able to create family experiences around money, helping parents educate. Oh, more of this do-gooder bullshit. Show us the money, Derek. Play with your kids on your own time. You'll be able to have technologies, leveraging technology, the controls to be able to set guidelines, parameters, educate children, blah, blah, blah. Your 12-year-old doesn't have any money. He's not going to make a home loan. He's not going to refi a student loan. We don't need children. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a great way to bring people in. It's a great way to pump the products, guys. And I haven't forgot about Operation Stealth Dookie. It does start today since Q3 is upon us, but we have quite a bit of time to get into this where I'm not pumping a stock. I'm not manipulating a stock. Buy, sell, hold, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care what you do. But if you're a shareholder, there's absolutely nothing wrong with supporting a company you invest in. So many of the products are available for free. You can open 3-4 products for free. You can deposit money. You can get a loan. You can do your travel through. If you have a Sofi credit card, you can book through their partnership with Expedia, and you actually get quite a bit of a discount off of the best Expedia pricing. And you get, I think it's 3% cash back on your credit card. So you end up saving like 8% or something. I did on my hotel. It's great. Use it. Use Sofi. Use the products. If you're a shareholder, don't whine. Don't Karen. Support the company. That's Operation Stealth Dookie. Okay, sign up. Top load these guys. Top load their toilet tank. Let them wonder what happened. Oh, why is the water brown? Like, you got top loaded. Anthony Noto, Derek White, they all top loaded you at your party. It's very unfortunate. They had a few too many party punches, and things happen, guys, when you're feeding people a 6-foot party sub from Subway. Anyway, we're probably jumping the shark here at this point, talking about top loading our competitors. That's just not a thing for polite conversation. Anyway, guys, this goes on and on, but it basically, can banks become a big threat to big tech? You mentioned he's talking about why banks are not a threat. This sort of is the anti-Gary, and this is from a guy who understands, like, well, Capital One spends billions of dollars on technology, so Galileo has no value. So stupid, so simplistic, such a misunderstanding of the fundamental situation. The banks are spending all that money. They're flailing. They're losing market share to companies like Sofi. They're not winning. They're losing. They're dinosaurs. They don't change. They go extinct. A dinosaur doesn't, magically become a beautiful horse. It just goes fucking extinct. And that's what's going to happen to these big banks. Sofi is going to put them out of their misery. It's going to take an awfully long time. Decades and decades and decades. Growing into a top 10 financial institutions just now requires a market cap like 150 billion or something like that. Sofi's at 6 billion. They're a nothing burger. We're a rounding error for the JP Morgans. People want to, we're going to dethrone JP Morgan. Yeah, maybe in your stupid dreams. Let's grow. Let's double. Let's get to a reasonable valuation. I know Jimmy Chitwood, Midwest Values, the guy who, talks about Sofi every day and the stochastics and all that stuff. He was talking about how this company is essentially going to grow. And, he does really nice breakdowns on the charts. But some of these guys that are on Sofi, I think every single day, whether it's Staz or some idiot like me, you take your eye off the prize. You don't see what this thing's going to become. Yes, deposits are very important. Members are very, very important. But when they start bringing on these big Galileo clients, it's going to be completely paradigm shifting for Sofi and Galileo as companies. They're not going to be looked at the same way. These just the bank idiots. I don't know if they're just too lazy to kind of look into the situation, or they're just lying, or they're shills, or they're trolls. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The truth will set you free. And, people that think the market is going to ignore profit and cash flow just don't know what they're talking about. Oh, even if it's making a ton of profit, they'll just keep shorting it. Yeah, only thing short there is your weighing. Guys, it's un poco mas. It's Sofi. It's Galileo. It's Danny Deals. It's Not a Lurker. It's J Money. It's Alberto Bertie Aviles. It's Plastic Pellets, our favorite troll. Who else is here, guys? It's Bookend Tackles, holding down the line. It's Ross. It's Heirloom Cedar. It's Dream of Stuff. It's Higuino Morales. What's NFA? I have no idea. I'm not a fan of, I don't know. I think it's one of those professional wrestling leagues. Unicorn for sale, $10 calls. Savage of Wall Street, you're an active commenter. I really appreciate that. Maria Powell is here. What's up, Maria Powell? What's up, Hism? Thanks for stopping by, guys. Billy Jack's here representing the Rednecks. About tobacco. You got who that picking a banjo yet? No, Billy Jack doesn't tell you. Billy Jack's probably like a fucking college professor or something. He just wears a baseball cap. Bent funny. Guys, there's a lot of smart people down south. Let funny accents fool you. It's just, it's like if you see, like, people are so dumb how they judge a book by its cover, like how the mind works. You hear somebody with like an accent from Canada or, China or wherever the fuck, you don't think that's like they're less intelligent, but people, like, they hear a Southern accent, they're like, oh, hey, y'all. The accent where you come from doesn't make you dumb, you dumb fucks. Being dumb makes you dumb. That's what makes you dumb. Anyway, guys, let me give you one final check of the price in the live short interest. Yeah, still just hovering over 653. Popped up just a tiny bit there, but I don't know, guys. The chart's going to break one way or the other. The wedge is tightening. This is a full wedgie. They got your tidy whities pulled right up over your head. It's an atomic wedgie. And as far as the live short interest, let me get you one final check of this turd. And we will click go. Yeah, so hovering over just right around neutral for the day, but tons of shares borrowed yesterday. Very, very active. Cost to borrow average over 1%, which is pretty unusual for the stock. Guys, watch the Derek White interview over on Tevis's channel or the channel of your choice. Read it. Understand what you own. Understand why you would be a horse's patoot to go ahead and dump your shares here. Guys, it's Danny Deals. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Have a great day. I hate you guys.